excited. Hello, Lionheart. I see you one of the first people to get here today. Hello, Zulnay. Welcome everyone to today's session. Welcome to the English First Additional Language class for grade 10, brought to you guys by STEM Lockdown Digital School. I hope everyone is having a very good day today. I know I'm particularly excited about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing some language. Hello, everyone. We're going to be doing some language structures and conventions. Our topic today is tenses, and I am your favorite presenter, Miss Pearl Nontlantla Langa. And there's my picture over there for all of you new people who haven't been in our classroom. Yay, language is fun, Lionhearts, and I'm very excited to teach you guys something new today. So today we're going to be doing tenses, right? And we all know tenses, very easy. We have past tense, we have present tense, and we have future tense. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys just briefly and reminding you about the different tenses that we find in language. But before we move on to today's activity, I would like to give a big shout out to two learners who have submitted their work from yesterday. And the first learner is Monica, and Monica submitted her speech from yesterday. I read her speech and I found it very interesting. Speech about coronavirus. So thank you so much, Monica, for submitting your work yesterday. And another learner that submitted her work is Carolina Chitete. Thank you so much, Carolina Chitete. Very lovely handwriting. I read your speech as well, and I was very happy about the progress most of you guys have made based on yesterday's lesson. If you have not sent me a lesson or homework that I've given you guys before via my email, you still have the chance to do that because we're still here locking it down on our digital school. So make sure that at the end of the lesson, you get my email address and you forward me all the work that you were supposed to forward me. So let's get into today's work. Okay, before we get into that, let's quickly recap on writing speeches. Yesterday, we said that a speech is a formal address or discourse delivered to an audience. We said many, if not all, great speeches are remembered as much for their stirring words and for the context in which they were delivered. And before our quick end to our lesson yesterday, I did play you guys a brief video of Thabo Mbeki delivering his speech in Parliament. I am an African, and I'm sure most of you guys went on and looked for the speech online after our lesson. We also learned yesterday that choosing a topic is important, and I taught you guys yesterday exactly how to go about choosing a topic. We spoke about researching the topic and the number of platforms you can use to research a topic before writing your speech. We spoke about making the content relevant, thinking of the people you are going to be delivering the speech to, and how exactly to speak to those type of people. We spoke about how to write a successful speech and how to edit and give us a final product. We also spoke about using cue cards as well, if you remember carefully. And I feel like yesterday's lesson was a success. So if you still like to send me your speeches, you may still do that. You can email me at langa.pearl@gmail.com. And now for new work, today we are going to be doing tenses. And at the end of the lesson, you will know the different types of tenses. You will know how to identify each tense. You will know the purpose of tenses, and you will know how to use different tenses correctly. Hello to everyone who just joined us. Right, so are you ready for today's lesson? I'm ready. So let's go. For today's lesson, we're going to be using this textbook by Macmillan. It's an English Home Language Grade 10 learner textbook. Shout out to Macmillan. If you have this textbook as an ebook or you have it on Snaplify, you can always just double check at the end of the lesson to make sure that you've learned everything that I've taught you guys here today. So thumbs up that Macmillan, for sharing your products with us online for free for us to use. Right, so I did mention at the beginning of the lesson that we will be doing tenses, and what I want to focus on today, particularly, are present and past tenses. And here we know that a tense is the time that an action takes place in a text. It can be past tense, and past tense means it has already happened, or present tense, and present tense means it is happening now. People say too, I would advise you to check your connection and check your device if you can't hear anything. Right, so let's practice, right? We all know what present and past tense is. We've done this from primary school. And just to get your memory started, I have this quick activity for you guys. And you will notice today's lesson has a lot of activities in between. So what we're going to do is we are going to change the present into past and the past into present. Is everyone ready to do this activity with me? Right. To do this activity successfully, you will need a pen and a piece of paper. So please go get a pen and a piece of paper for today's lesson because we're going to be doing a lot of writing. If you have your piece of paper and your pen ready, just text ready. Go get your pen, go get your piece of paper for today's activity. And if you are ready for today's lesson or you are ready to start with the activity, text ready in the group. Okay, I see a lot of learners already. Albakwe raised a hand. I think that was a mistake. Right, a lot of learners already. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute to answer the following questions. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the sentence, for example, number 1, I see my father painting the house. That is written in present tense. So what you have to do is you have to change it to past tense. Right. And the second one, I set the table. That is written in present tense, right? Or past tense rather, and you're supposed to write it in present tense, right? And so on and so forth. Let's go. If you're done with changing the sentence to either present or past tense, tell me you're done in the group chat. Right, remember, you have to read the sentence carefully in order to know which tense it's written in, and then you either change it to present or past tense. So number 1 is written in present tense, you have to change it into past tense. Number 2 is written in past tense, you have to change it into present tense. Okay, Lionheart is done. Let's move quickly. This is not supposed to be a hard activity. It's just to remind you about the different tenses. Sarah is done. Vilnay is done. Shanae is done. Tyler is done. Monica is done. Siposetu is done. Okay, and because so many learners are done, we're going to move right onto the corrections. Right. So let's look at number 1 quickly. I see my father painting the house. I set the table. It's number 2. I ate our food. Number 3. I go to school is number 4. I help her to change her clothes. Number 5. I got out of bed. Number 6. Let's quickly look at the corrections. Number 1 is I saw my father painting the house. Make sure that you tick your answer with the pencil or a color pen. Number 2 is I am setting the table. I am setting the table. Number 3 is I eat our food. I eat our food. Number 3 is I eat our food. Number 4 is I went to school. I went to school. Number 5 is I helped her change her clothes. I helped her to change her clothes. And number 6 is I am getting out of bed. Hi, Vicky, do you have a question? Okay, I don't think Vicky has a question. Who got 6 out of 6 for today's activity? For number 3, can't you say I am eating our food? That's also correct. Yes. Yeah, I am eating our food works out perfectly as well. But remember, ate, the direct opposite of ate, the present tense for the word ate is eat. Number 3 was tricky, right? Number 3 was tricky, but it's I eat our food or I am eating our food. So if number 3 gave you a problem, then you got 6 out of 6. If anything else gave you a problem, then you didn't exactly get 6 out of 6. Right, well done, Lionheart. Let's move on. Right, let's now look at simple presents and simple past tense. Okay, simple present and simple past tenses are the only tenses in which the verb is made up of just one word. So let's look at this example for simple present. The simple present tense is formed by using the verb in its stem form as it appears in the dictionary. So, for example, the word kick is a verb that is made up of one word because we do not have any suffix after the word kick. So simple present tense uses a verb that is made up of one word, like I kick or you kick. Right, let's look at simple past. The simple past tense is formed by changing the stem form of the verb by either adding a suffix or changing the verb completely. Remember, with the simple present, we used one word as a verb, but with simple past, we add onto the verb using a suffix or we change the word completely. So the examples are he rode the horse. The original word or the present tense form of the word rode is ride. So it's simple past tense. You change the word completely from ride to rode. And here's another example. He jumped on the bed. The root word here is jump. And if we had written it in simple present, we would just use the verb jump. But because it's simple past, we have added a suffix ed, creating the word jumped, and therefore making sure that the sentence is written in past tense. Does that make sense? Does everyone get this? It makes sense, Megan. Very simple, right? Right. Pauline raised the hand. Pauline, do you have a question? Okay, I think it was a mistake. Let's move on. Right. So let's look at simple present tense. Remember, with simple present tense, in the first and the second person, we use the original one word verb. First person is I, second person is you. But in the third person, the simple present form has an S added at the end. Therefore, I kick becomes he or she kicks. If you had to say he kick, what would that be? An error of? Remember we did it last week. What's it called? When a sentence doesn't sound right. If we had to say he kick, well done, Tyrese. It's concord. If we say he kick, it wouldn't sound right. So if it's a third person, if we're talking about other people, he or she kicks. The verb takes on the S at the end. In simple present tense, refer to actions that we usually do and not to actions that we are in the process of doing. And what this means is I eat vegetables does not mean that I am doing this now. It means that I generally eat vegetables. So with simple present tense, you are not telling us what you are doing right now. You are telling us what you usually do. And if you say, I eat vegetables, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are eating vegetables now. It could generally mean that you eat vegetables in general. Who here eats vegetables? I know I do. Yes, serious. I love vegetables. Right. Let's move on to this part. So there's a lot to learn when it comes to tenses. Can you see? Megan eats vegetables once a year. Megan. Vegetables are delicious. Right. So let's look at simple, continuous, and perfect tenses. Simple tenses are tenses that are straight to the point. They use a verb that takes on the form of one word. And if we are writing in the third person, our verb takes on an S at the end, or the suffix ed, or the verb changes altogether. So in this instance, okay, a simple tense is the basic form of tense. For example, I live in Grahamstown. Right. If it's continuous, it will always have an auxiliary verb. And an auxiliary verb is the word am. The action word will end in ing. So for example, I am living in Grahamstown at the moment. So am living is your verb and it's continuous because it has the suffix ing. So if you are jumping, you are doing that right now. So it is a continuous tense because it has the suffix ing. And a perfect tense will always have the auxiliaries has, have, will have, and the action word will end with ed. Lionheart gave us an example, the word listening. So all of you guys are listening to me right now, and that is the continuous tense because we have the suffix ing at the end of the word listen. Okay, Carolina, I think you should check your connection and your device. Right. Let's look at the perfect one. So perfect will have the auxiliaries has, have, will have. And the action word will end with ed, the suffix ed. So a perfect tense would be I have lived in Grahamstown. So the verb here is have lived And we have used the auxiliary verb have and have added the suffix ed at the end of the word live. Let's now put it in action. Let's work together. Remember our previous example? I live in Grahamstown. Simple. I am living in Grahamstown at the moment. Continuous. And I have lived in Grahamstown. Perfect. Let's see if we can figure out what the continuous tense for I eat my vegetables. Who can tell me what the continuous tense for the simple tense I eat my vegetables is? Remember, we use the auxiliary verb am and we add ing at the end of our root verb. Yes, it's I am eating vegetables. Okay, remember with continuous tenses, you have your auxiliary verb first, then you add ing at the end of your root word. Then, if it had to be written in perfect tense, what would I am eating my vegetables be? If it had to be written in perfect tense, what would I am eating my vegetables be? Anyone? I have eaten my vegetables. Well done, guys. I have eaten my vegetables. Remember here, we have used the auxiliary verb have and we have added a suffix at the end of our root verb eat. I know this one was tricky, so I have more examples. Let's look at another one. I jump on the bed. What is the continuous tense for that? I jump on the bed. I am jumping on the bed. Remember, it's continuous. You are doing it right now, continuously. So I am jumping on the bed is your continuous tense. And we know this is continuous because we have the auxiliary am and we've added the suffix ing at the end of the word jump. And if it's written in perfect tense, what would it be? I have jumped on the bed. Well done, guys. I have jumped on the bed. And we know it's perfect because we've used the auxiliary have and we've added a suffix at the word at the end of the word jump, which is ed. Let's look at our next example. I play in the garden. What is the continuous tense for the simple tense I play in the garden? I am playing in the garden. Well done, guys. You're getting it. So am is the auxiliary, and we've added a suffix at the end of the word play, right, to create the phrase I am playing in the garden. And if it had to be perfect, what would we say? I have played. Well done, guys. I'm so proud. I have played in the garden because we've used the auxiliary have and we've added an ed at the end of the word play. Well done. I'm so happy. So now we all get it, right? Okay, let's move on to our classroom activity. Right. This classroom activity is taken from our grade 10 Macmillan textbook. It's classroom activity 7 in the specific textbook on page 168. And I took it because I knew that it would help you guys out with the specific task. So what I want you guys to do is to get your piece of paper and your pen, right? And I want you guys to do the following. I want you to underline the verbs in the following sentences and say whether they are written in the simple, continuous, or perfect tense. If you are ready, just shout ready. So what you will do is you will either copy down the full sentence and underline and tell me what type of tense it is, or you will write down the verbs and then you will tell me what tense it's written in. Okay, so I will give you guys a short amount of time to complete this activity and then we will do corrections. Okay, so I have a lot of learners who are already here today. You can start. Remember, you must underline the verb, right? And say whether it's simple, continuous, or perfect. Underline the verb and say whether it is simple, continuous, or perfect. Underline the verb. Joey, you can just write down the verb on a piece of paper. You don't have to underline it on the screen. Okay. Vicky, please don't give answers on the group chats. Okay. Joey, I don't think we can underline on the screen, so I would advise you to at least write down the verb on a piece of paper and tell me what type of tense it is. All right. You guys have about a minute. Just write down the verb and tell me what tense it is. Underline the verb. Tell me what tense it is. Underline the verb. Tell me what tense it is. When you are done, just shout done. Try, Joey. Try. Okay, I see Palace done. Sarah's done. Megan is done. Albakwe is done. Waiting for a few more learners. Lionheart is done. Vicky is done. Tyrese is done. Zalnay is done. Siposetu is done. Joey, you can't study. I don't quite get that, my darling. What can't you study? Okay. Shanae is done. Trevolin is done. Nelly is done. Zalnay seems like she's done. So let's quickly move on to our corrections. Right. So here are our answers. Number 1, I helped her make the bed. The verb there is helped, and it's simple tense. It's written in simple tense. Number 2, I set the clock. The verb is set, and it is written in simple tense. Number 3, we will eat ice cream. The verb is will eat and it is written in simple tense. Number 4, she was finishing her food. The verb is was finishing and it is We're back. Our Zoom tried playing games on us. Let's continue with our corrections. Yes, I'm back. We can all relax. Yes, the screen went poof. Sorry, I'm back. Okay, is the screen blank? Can we all see now? Awesome. Right. Okay, so here are our corrections. We will eat ice cream. Will eat is the verb and it's simple tense. She was finishing her food. Was finishing is our verb and that is continuous tense. I will be studying. Will be studying is the verb and it's written in continuous tense. Number 6. I had been singing my song for a few minutes. This one was tricky. Had, if you remember carefully, is an auxiliary verb that is used for perfect tenses. Remember, it's have and had and has. Right. So that is perfect continuous. Yes. Number 6 can fool everyone. It fooled me once as well. Right. The next one, number 7. I had climbed the tree before. Had climbed. Perfect. If you remember the word had, right? It's an auxiliary for perfect tenses. Number 8. I have saved all my money. Perfect because we've used the auxiliary have and saved has the suffix et at the end. And the last one, number 9, I will have left by then is perfect because if you remember carefully, will have is also perfect tense. Carolina saying, ma'am, isn't perfect continuous tense one thing? No, no. Okay. In a different lesson, it can be, but in this specific lesson, we are looking at simple, continuous, and perfect tenses separately. Okay. Right. Do we have any questions for this one? It was very difficult. Who got 9 out of 9? I know number 6 tricked a lot of you guys because we had 2 in 1. So we had and we had singing. Okay, someone got 8, someone got 7 out of 9, 8 out of 9, 8 out of 9. But Alyssa, don't be sad. 8 out of 9 is great. People say to 8 out of 9. Yes, so we all got about 50%, Joey. Better luck next time. Thank you for trying. Okay, 1 out of 9 means you can do better next time. Right. So we are nearing the end of our lesson today, right? If it was a Friday, we would do Zoom, but we would do Kahoots, but we'll wait for Friday. Okay, we're gonna have one big Kahoot on Friday. And before I leave today, I would like to give you guys this activity for homework. So if you can take a screenshot of this specific activity for me. Take a screenshot of this specific activity. Who is taking the screenshots of this activity for homework? Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Palisa. Thank you, Zane. Yes, guys. Megan, please take a screenshot. Vicky, Monica, yes. Awesome, awesome. Right. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy down the specific table and you're going to fill it in. Okay. So I've given you guys the first row. Had laughed, laughed, and was laughing. Then I've given you words in between for the simple tense. So what you have to do is you have to fill in the past perfect and the past continuous. The present perfect, present continuous. Future perfect, and future continuous. Look at the first row of each section for clues. Right. And once you have done the specific homework, you email it to me at langa.pearl@gmail.com. I hope we are all listening. Megan, can you all pay attention? You will do this activity for homework. You will fill in all of the missing spaces because you have diligently taken a screenshot. Then, once the activity is done, you will email it to me at langa.pearl@gmail.com. Right, that's my email address. Okay, and my email address is on the screen as we speak right now. Like I said before, email your tables to me at langa.pearl@gmail.com. Right. Thank you so much for joining me, guys, today. Let's quickly recap. You know that tense is the time that an action takes place in a text. It can be past tense, it's already happened, or it can be present tense, it's happening now. Simple present and simple past tenses are the only tenses in which the verb is made up of one word. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I also had a lot of fun in today's lesson, and I'm hoping to receive all of your table from you guys via email. If you do send me your table, I will give you a big shout out tomorrow. Join me again tomorrow, like I said, because we'll be doing active and passive voice. Invite your friends, tell your family to come and meet Miss Langa at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you so much. You can reach us at www.africateengeeks.co.za for more information. You can email me once again at langa.pearl@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media at African Teen Geeks. You can follow me at Pearlings on Twitter or find me on Facebook at Pearling Langa. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.